my goodness, knight d8? Whoa.
Bishop g5 was mate.
way.
It has to give it. Mate. He bloated mate.
Chance, look, f7. Oh, whoa, no!
Norway, land of fjords, majestic mountains, cliffs and waterfalls. In addition to stunning geography, Norway is home to the greatest chess player who has ever lived, Magnus Carlsen. Since 2013, Norway has also hosted one of the strongest chess super tournaments in the world. And it is one for which Magnus has claimed the top prize in the last 4 years. Can anyone stop him? This time, he'll meet one of his toughest challengers ever at his home tournament, with 9 rivals all hungry to beat the best. From Carlsen's fiercest online rival today, in their first classical over-the-board battle in nearly 4 years, Hikaru Nakamura, to the young star Carlsen once handpicked as his most worthy championship opponent, Alireza Firouzja. 2 more young stars are trying to follow in his footsteps, Nodibek Abdusatorov and Gukesh Domaraju. 2 established stars have already won a super tournament in 2023, Anish Giri and Fabiano Caruana. 2 more long-time headliners seek to take their next turn atop a major tournament, Wesley So and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Finally, Carlsen's countryman and friend, Arian Tari, rounds out the field. Who will come out on top? Will Carlsen run the table yet again, or will someone else usurp the throne? This is Norway Chess.
Hello and welcome to round 7, where the tension is mounting. Fabiano Caruana has a commanding lead. Only 3 rounds are remaining, so every move will count. Let the chase for first place commence. I'm your host, International Master Jovanka Hauska, and as always, it's been a wonderful pleasure to be here in the Stavanger studio calling all the action alongside the legendary Grandmaster Judith Polgar and the fantastic commentator and Grandmaster David Howell. Now, Judith, it's been a dramatic few days, lots of twists and turns, but for the chasing pack, what do they have to do to secure those wins in the classical games?
Well, it's very difficult. That we've seen for some time, as Magnus, for example, did not win a single classical game. We see that Fabiano is doing extremely well. At the same time, everybody is getting tired because it's already round 7. You have all these interesting moves and missed opportunities and blunders, whatever, behind you. But still, you have to be very strong. And for Fabiano, of course, he has to stay strong. At the same time, for example, if he's losing and Nakamura can take the lead.
Absolutely. And Fabiano has a 2.5-point lead over Hikaru Nakamura. I mean, how can Fabiano maintain his composure to keep that lead?
Yeah, it's tricky, Jovanka. Does he play it safe, maybe take a draw in the classical, but lose some of his momentum? Or will he just keep on full steam ahead and just take those risks? We've seen it before. He's been leading throughout the tournament, Fabiano. But 2 games ago, he slipped. He lost with the white pieces, and it would be disaster if that happened again. It's not easy. He's caught in 2 minds. We'll see his approach today.
Absolutely. And we do have to take a recap of yesterday's results, because there was a lot of fun to be had on the tables. There were 4 Armageddons, and Fabiano Caruana actually scoring a massive comeback win in the classical game to take 3 points against Nordibek Abdusatorov. So Judith, what were the highlights for you yesterday?
Well, I have to tell you that I was quite amazed how Gukash was playing. He felt like comfortable. He was the one who was trying to push in the classical game also at the end. And of course, the Armageddon, for example, it was amazing. He had 5 passed pawn yesterday. So that was maybe one of the interesting things, because I'm very happy to follow and to see unfolding such a talent as Gukash.
Yeah, he's just 17 years old. And for you, David, there were 4 Armageddons on the table. Do you think anyone will have felt that their luck has changed?
Well, there's a few people who will be cursing their luck, but for those who are on the upward trend, I would say Hikaru Nakamura, 2nd place in the world, briefly, just for one day. He'll be aiming to get that back today, of course, but he's been playing well yesterday, defeating Firouzja in the Armageddon, and Magnus. He got a bit lucky at times in the Armageddon, but for him, it's now all about the classical games. He'll feel luck turns if he wins today.
Yes, definitely. And let's remind ourselves of the standings. And there is one man at the top of the table, Fabiano Caruana, with 13.5 points out of 18. But 2.5 points behind him is Hikaru Nakamura, who will be looking to win some more classical games. Alireza Firouzja on 3rd place, and Gukash, just 17 years old, with 8.5 points in 4th place. And Magnus Carlsen, well, he's won the tournament 4 times in a row these previous years, but it's looking like it might be an uphill battle for him. He languishes in 6th place. And, well, this leads us very nicely to today's matchups at Norway Chess. So every day is a winner for you in terms of the actual chess fights. We see Magnus Carlsen playing white against Alireza Firouzja, Wesley So, Nordibek Abdusatorov. So many fascinating encounters. Which one, Judah, are you eagerly anticipating?
Well, I'm very much looking forward to this game of the leader, Fabiano versus Gukash. And also I must say that Nakamura game versus Mamedyarov will be also something real excitement, I think, because Mamedyarov will want to win.
Absolutely. So many players who do want to win. And David, what about you?
Yeah, so many storylines. I also will be watching Nakamura closely, fighting not just for 1st place in this tournament, but 2nd place in the world rankings. And Anish Giri playing his former 2nd, Arian Tari. Some mind games there, that's for sure.
Oh, I can't wait for this. And it's part of what makes Norway special is the field, but it's also the format, which pushes chess beyond its boundaries. Because take a look at this. It's a 10-player single round robin, 120 minutes for the entire game. Sounds like a lot, really isn't. And a 10-second increment added after move 40. And in the case of a draw, Armageddon will break the tie. No draw offers. And it's the scoring system where if you win your classical game, you get 3 points. And if you win your Armageddon game, only 1.5 points. And this is what makes Norway Chess so special. And there we can see Abdusatorov. He has the black pieces against Wesley So. Oh, taking a deep breath. Perhaps some tension there.
Yeah, he gave a death stare to the camera for a second, Nordibek. He's had an up and down tournament, we've got to say. Impressive at times. He won the Blitz, of course, before the event, but in recent times as well, some classical defeats. Smiling there as his opponent, Wesley, takes his seat. Yeah, both players look in good spirits. I'm expecting this one to be quite fiery if Abdusatorov gets his way. He loves a full-blooded fight there. Wesley maybe more solid throughout the tournament so far. Now Anish and Arian, good friends.
They are in good mood as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting storyline, as you pointed out there, David. The Anish and Arian has seconded Anish I mean, what do you think will be going through their minds, especially for Anish, because he knows what material he's revealed to Ariane.
Yeah, that's the thing. These two will know everything there is to know about each other, especially in the opening phase of the game. Of course, they get on extremely well. Ariane was working with Anish for the better part of a year on and off. So opening-wise, they've had all the discussions. It's just about whether they kind of follow the gentleman's agreement, where you don't play anything you've discussed, and try to maybe branch out, find new territory as early as possible, or the mind games where you just go down the main line, go down one of these lines that you have analysed together, and hope that you know more than your opponent.
And here is a huge matchup. Tournament leader Fabiano Caruana with the white pieces against Gukesh. I can remember a game that they played against each other in Tata Steel, and there Fabiano actually outwitted his young opponent. He enticed him to make some active decisions which were badly timed. Do you think Fabiano will do more of that same strategy, or will he kind of move on to a different approach?
Well, I think Fabiano, as he's in a great form and he's extremely stable in his play, we could see that he has things under control. Somehow he has a good mindset here in this tournament. He's incredibly stable playing. He's not making very risky decisions, but he's very practical also at the same time. And he sees that he has a significant lead, of course. He knows one thing, that he cannot lose the classical game. That's very clear. But I think he will not go out with some crazy stuff, but he wants to play a normal game as if it would be round one.
Yeah. And there we see Magnus Carlsen and Alireza seated. And I have to ask you both a question. Has Magnus lifted his chair up to its highest?
Just to assert physical dominance there to intimidate his opponent. He does look taller than normal, Magnus.
He certainly does. I mean, Magnus is a tall guy, but he definitely does have an impressive stature on the board.
Maybe it's the hair, gives him a few extra inches with his height there.
Also, Alireza is very tall.
Yeah, but I think when things are not going on your own way, and this is the tournament where we can say for Magnus is the case, you try to change everything. Okay. You change your pen, you change your hairstyle, he took off shaved his beard, you change the setting the height of your chair, you're changing your clothes, you're really trying everything.
Yeah, actually you're right, Jovanka. Alireza, I think he's about 190 in terms of height, and he looks tiny compared to Magnus. What's happened here?
Well, the players have given a handshake. A move has been made for Magnus. Magnus promptly taking it back. And the clock has been started, and Magnus opening with e4. This one will be such a fascinating battle because, as you actually mentioned in the run-up, Alireza Firouzja was someone that Magnus has hand-picked as his successor for a long time.
Yeah, we all kind of think of Alireza as a potential future world champion. That being said, the last couple of years, it's been a bit mysterious. He's played a lot less. And meanwhile, the Sicilian on the board. Yeah, Alireza's played a lot less, maybe some inconsistent results, a bit up and down. And yeah, it's kind of fascinating as well, the head-to-head that these two guys have. I think we'll talk about that a bit later, but Magnus definitely, at least in classical chess, he's got a huge score against Alireza. And okay, what do we think of this opening choice? A small surprise, Firouzja playing the Sicilian, Judith?
Yeah, I'm very happy to see this position on the board, and I'm curious whether Magnus will be going to the open Sicilian. Then we are going to be seeing Pausen, which I played. It was my line for many years. I had great successes with that. So I'm very curious if he's going to the Pausen or he wants to end up in the Sveshnikov, because with transposition we are able to get there.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Magnus, I think, will not have expected this. Firouzja, it has been a theme in the tournament that kind of, if given a choice, he'll always press the chaos button. He'll always kind of keep things interesting and take these big risks, which actually suits Magnus's tournament situation right now.